Updates, folks, updates! Fresh, hot off the press. Community updates for what's coming next week. We got hot news, ladies and gentlemen. Who's ready? Who's been waiting for the updates? Who's ready to rock and roll? Hail fire, Lord! Pass the ammo. It's a day of celebration. Oh. Wait. Hang on. I guess the saying is true. You gotta take the good with the bad. Because attached to this post is a massive migration of wah-wahs. I guess we'll get into it, yes? EA announced coming soon things in the latest community update, released on February 10th. EA started with reminding everyone that Season 2 is almost here. And before it goes live, they wanted to share the updates coming up and touch on what they've been starting to work on for what's coming after the season launches. And they stated it's all based on what the community has been discussing all over the interwebs. And it includes mentioning Contaminated and its new map design, and I'm assuming it's confirming the gas mechanic is the limited thing here, similar to the freeze mechanic for the winter event. Then, they mentioned this new map and another limited time mode in the dark. Grab your flashlights, boys. Now, before we go any further, let's remind everyone that the Scrubs came out in full fucking force, again online, basically saying, it's not good enough. Especially with just one map out of the gate and Golmud coming later in the season. More on that in a moment. One doofus said, 4 studios and only 2 maps? Make it make sense. Well, my good sir, it's because DICE primarily focuses on the overall map design and development. The other 3 studios handles other things, like the campaign content, vehicle handling, and asset engineering, and then finally the BR and Portal. So, to oversimplify, DICE handles the bulk, about 90% of the multiplayer map design and development, while the other studios add little things here and there. Meanwhile, you have about 100 people, give or take, doing the actual work per map. And it takes roughly 6 to 12 months, depending on size, environment, and features for a map to start on paper to the final day before launch. Even Lars Gustafsson confirmed this. So, hopefully, those words were understood, good sir. Now, before you fuckwits come at me with the shill nonsense, I'm not defending any particular studio about anything with that information. It is a simplified explanation on shit you know nothing about based on your whiny comments. Know the difference. Now, do maps get made one at a time? Well, no. But here's how most AAA first-person shooters run the gauntlet on map development. They take their first map and throw it into Phase 1. This is where the skeleton of the map is created, the bare bones of it, if you will. Once the bones are there, it's passed to Phase 2, and the second map enters Phase 1. There's about 6 phases in map development, typically. And honestly, I don't get why that's so hard to understand. Now, some of you weirdos out there might think, to argue, how we got 4 maps with every DLC in previous titles like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. Well, yeah, my dudes, technology was a little simpler then. Plus, those guys running the engine had built it from the ground up. Now it's all about the spectacle, and the devs running the engine are new to the language it was built on, and have to be slower to get it right, or else you get dead content. Duh. 99.9999% of you scrubs have never worked in the gaming industry, let alone software development. So you have no idea just how hard it is to build games. For whatever reason, something or someone lied to your gullible asses saying game development is easy peasy. Anyone can do it. Well, if that's so, I dare you to make a game. No, really. I really dare you to put your money where your mouth is and try to develop a game. No? I didn't think so. You can sit down and shut the fuck up now. You should probably look back and down as you plant your ass back in that chair. Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself sitting down. Anyway, EA further discusses streamlined challenges, removing daily sidearm challenges, allowing assets to count on dailies, a faster battle pass progression for RedSec. Look, I know some of you out there have your thoughts and fucking feelings about the BR. It exists. Just fucking deal with it. Weapon balance and recoil improvements, tweaks to player movement, and some audio updates. And they said they'll do a deeper dive into these tweaks and changes when they post the full season roadmap at the end of this week. Okay, so far, pretty cool, right? Not so fast. If you go to the Twitter post, and I'll provide a link to it, by the way, the comments are just a bunch of whiny kids pissing and moaning about not getting all the things they want. It's like they all think there's 100,000 employees working like little worker ants 24/7 without breaks, rotation, lunches, or sleep, and just hammer away at the game, when in reality it's closer to about 200-ish people overall. Fucking babies. Anyway, here's what I zeroed in on. The ongoing dev focus. Current areas for improvement that are in active development include hit registration and netcode. Hells yeah! You remember the good old hit reg and netcode, right? The biggest things everyone's been bitching about left, right, and fucking center? Yeah, they're on it! According to the post, and we'll have layered patches throughout the season once the fixes are validated. So the biggest complaint is getting addressed, which probably contributed to the delay of Season 2's launch, and I found one comment at the time I made this video about the hit reg, and unfortunately, it was a big oof. No server or netcode improvements, really? Dude couldn't even read the damn post. So, one comment about hit reg, that's it. Everything else about hit reg was crickets. The remaining comments was, where's my maps? Then there's this asshole. You're doing nothing that the community is asking. I believed in this game, but you deserve your failures. Uh-huh. From what I'm reading here in the post about the changes and such, they are doing what the community has been asking for. Maybe it's just not everything you or your echo chamber have been asking for. Anywho, Battlefield Labs mentioned there's going to be a player testing to confirm iteration and validation of the changes, and they go over how the previous labs tested these things in Contaminated, and based on the feedback provided, they made adjustments based off said feedback. Then the labs mentioned Golmud. They stated that they had an earlier labs test and things were running as expected with the gameplay feedback. Due to the scale of the map, they wanted to do further testing to make sure it launches correctly. Hence the delay of its launch until further down the line. So it's coming. But you gotta be patient, bitches. And for you RedSec fans, EA talks about a change they recently introed about armor plates upon death, increasing overall armor availability for a chance at additional plates to spawn in crates, and making changes to the availability of vehicle keycard rewards. That's pretty much it, guys. They went on to list some Portal experiences, including a shout out to the channel's new friend, Bellum1988, and his Metro map being recently featured, as well as other experiences. And there was the typical corporate closing. You know, thanks for reading, appreciate the feedback, so on and so forth. Now, Keep in mind, this was just a bare minimum announcement, and all the gory details will post by end of week. So we won't be getting 2 maps right out the rip on day 1. And honestly, that's fine. I want them to make sure that they can get it right before it drops. If further testing is required, that's fine with me. Well, it's obviously not fine with all the jackhole comments in the post, though. Like, Jesus fucked up on a Saturday night Mad Dog 2020 binge. Christ, you'd think these kids were shown offensive war crimes footage or something by their reactions to this post. It was all with the maps. Spoiled brats. I've been hearing Battlefield 6 is dying every week since October. Yet, here we all are. Why are people who claim to uninstall still posting 20-minute breakdowns of the patch notes? I mean, that just sounds like secondhand experience with a first-person confidence. Meanwhile, comment after comment, a certain section of the community drops demands for a flawless Season 2, or else the game is dead. You've been saying the game is dead, so I guess you now mean dead? No. And because of an impossible standard, these demands exacerbate the rent-free obsession with this game. If the game were truly dead, all these motherfuckers keep preaching about, people wouldn't be demanding 3 maps instead of 2. Dead games don't have players arguing over urban versus rural map design. These people exclaim from on high that they have buyer's remorse, yet they are the first ones to reply to the @Battlefield account within seconds of a tweet. That's the definition of living rent-free, kiddos. I guess it's just the new cool trend to hate Battlefield 6 right now. A funny irony, though, is that the haters are unintentionally doing their part to help keep the game relevant during the downtime. Like, my dudes, do you not see you're still playing the game, even if you're not loading it up and selecting a mode to jump into? If the game sucks you in, if the game sucks to you, why the fuck are you still talking about it as though it's freshly stabbed you in your no-no place? I had a buddy of mine who had been divorced for 20 years. And he was still raging about his ex-wife and the personal affront he took about her behavior. He even remarried and was happily so. Yet, not a single day passed by he wasn't shaking in furious anger about the ex. And I would hear it every single day. Then, I said something to him that I'm going to say to you now. Sounds like you still care, playa. Rent-free, motherfuckers! I keep seeing the same people every time they get the chance to drop the fact that they have stopped playing Battlefield 6 because the game is dead, or the devs suck, or not my Battlefield. Yeah, I saw that shit a few weeks ago, like, literally, like, really, my dude? Or, let me know when the game is fixed, or it's such a sad state of affairs and how far the franchise is falling. Okay, you tuned out, but yet, you're still in the game. And no, I don't mean literally. I mean in your head. I mean, come on. If you've been watching my channel over the last few weeks, you've watched me bring up several comments from these weirdos. And it doesn't seem to matter what the topic is with regards to the game. I mean, it's everywhere. I went to 8 different X posts, and it was pretty much the same thing. Rainstorms of salty tears with a chance of temper tantrum foot-stomping thunderstorms. Like, they all didn't get their babas or binkies in time. See, I play other games, folks. Mostly because I have more than one interest. I play Tarkov. I just bought Squad. I'm eyeballing Gray Zone and this new game War Dogs. If I end up playing Battlefield 6 solo, or I've been in the game a bit, I switch things up and play other games. It prevents burnout. I think one dude tried to tell me I had low expectations. That's a matter of opinion, sir. But I can say this for sure. My level of expectation shows that I'm happier than you. If you've generally moved on from the game, you wouldn't still track its daily announcements, the roadmaps, the posts from the devs. If you're still tracking that shit, it means you haven't left. So put up or shut up, kiddos. Pick one and stick with it. It's becoming more and more obvious to me that people are not what's elevating the game one way or the other. A lot of people just echo someone else, with no original thoughts swimming in their heads. People are just elevating a trusted interpreter of the game instead. So their tiny little brains treat the creator's experience as their own personal experience. And at that point, the conversation stops being about the gameplay or the game specifically. It has become about belonging to a version of Battlefield that only exists in memory or commentary. When this section of humanity compares Battlefield 6 to a storied, emotional version of Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, or Battlefield 1, they aren't comparing it to reality. So any narrative that confirms the memory sticks instantly. I've said it before, a lot of you forgot about the rough nonsense those titles went through at launch and their first quarters. Short-ass memories. And for those of you that never got to play those and are bitching about where's my maps, posers. You're fucking salty posers. There's a slew of us looking forward to the updates and new content, even if it's just one map right now. We're not difficult to please. I mean, the way you lot carry on, it's like listening to a bunch of high-maintenance catty women at a cookout. Just high-maintenance hoes that can never be satisfied with anything, and they get mad as fuck at those enjoying the simpler things in life and not stressed out about not making it to the opening night premiere of whatever hot new movie is coming out or not wearing the latest fucking fashions. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Posers. We're here for the game. If that offends you, perhaps you're in the wrong game because of that offense, not because the maps aren't dropping out of the sky like manna from heaven. Meanwhile, the salty tears of my maps is just adding to the content, kiddos. It's just adding to the content. And I appreciate it oh so very much. Rent-free, motherfuckers. Guys, the game's getting content and the game's getting fixes. I think our patience will be rewarded if all goes as it has done so historically. If I'm wrong about that, well, time will tell. If I'm right, though, oh, if I'm right. I would rather have a dev come out and say, we need to delay this so we can fix a few things based off the feedback we had during testing. I mean, the scrubs and posers are gonna bitch regardless. Mad because it's delayed. Mad because it's broken when it should have been delayed. Either way, it won't matter to them. Me? I'm chilling. Glad to see the fixes are inbound and content eventually getting here. I'm ready to see what they're doing. Thanks for watching, folks. I always appreciate the views, the likes, the subs. Hell, some of you threw some hype points at me, and I love you for it. I especially love the conversations we're having in the comments, so keep those coming. You see the plugs on the screen. No real need for me to read them out loud, but I will say this. We're almost at 3K subs for this wee little channel, and that's been very awesome to see the subs climb. All because of you, so thank you for helping my channel grow. I wouldn't have much of a channel without you. So thanks. And don't forget the veteran spotlight at the bottom of the description. These spotlights are important. So at the very least, please check them out. And until the next one, out.